Go.
Okay. Hi guys, I'm Aisha.
I'm Parker.
I'm Daniel.
I'm Claire.
I'm Max.
And our company is Travel Space. So I want the people in the front to show of hands if you guys fly frequently. Okay, great. And how many of you find yourself stressed out doing work on the plane? Often for business. Okay, great. And how many of you find yourself stressed out to stay organized during your flight? With like any materials? Okay, great. Well, you guys are in luck because you're a lot like our friend Carl Jones. Carl is a 35-year-old senior marketing manager for a dog food company in LA. And he often spends time flying from New York to LA for business trips. One fateful day, Carl's flying, he's doing his work, and he spilled his coffee all over his laptop. And his important work is completely ruined. To make matters worse, Carl also realizes he's lost his AirPods. So now he has to listen to an annoying baby crying the whole flight. He's just so mad right now, steam's just coming out of his ears. He gets to LA, and the worst thing happens. He can't present any of his work because his laptop got ruined, and his company loses out on their biggest client. So his boss says to him, "Get out of here, Carl, you're fired, and take that broken laptop with you." So, really bad day for Carl. Now the question is, what could we have done to make Carl's situation better?
Not only Carl is having this problem. We conducted an airplane tray comfortability survey, and 70% of the responses were not happy with the current airplane tray. No one gave an above average rating, which means that the problem we're trying to solve is a real problem. We received 22 responses from our survey, and we did 21 interviews. We have 43 in total, and we are continuing to receive feedback from potential customers.
For those who don't recognize this, this is the airplane tray. We were trying to place the airplane tray because it's so bad. As you can see, it is thin, it is small, and it's got this horrible cup holder that is very shallow, and whoever created it decided to put a slant on it so the cup could easily just slide out. It's so bad that the person who took this picture didn't even use it. This is our product. It's a portable desk meant to replace the airplane tray. We're replacing the airplane tray in two ways. It's bigger and it has more functionality. After looking at the dimensions of the airplane tray, we have added 2 inches to both the length and the width of our product. We've also got more functionality because we have a deeper cup holder. We have 2 grip surfaces, a smaller one for our AirPods so you don't lose them like Carl, and the bigger one for devices such as your laptop and iPad. We also have a sliding compartment for papers and other small items that can fit.
Our main competitor is LabCare. Their desk is priced from $30 to $50 and does around $5 million in revenue. Our product is portable because it fits in your backpack. It's slim, light, and comfortable in size, so you can take it wherever you need to go and do whatever. Our product is also durable because it's a strong material and sleek surface, so it'll last you when you buy it. Finally, our product is also multifunctional because you can use it for work, food, drink, and devices. So you can do all the things you need to do all at once.
Looking at Carl, you can see that our main customer is 30 to 50 years old, and they fly at least 6 times a year in economy class. This is because in first and business class, they already have enough room to do whatever they need to do. And the main problem is in economy class where they're forced to use the airplane tray, and they can't do the work that they want to do. So our total addressable market is $48.2 billion. And using our customer persona, we found out that our serviceable addressable market is $8.67 billion. In our first year, we will reach 400 customers and years out.
So our marketing tactics consist of some free ones and some that require a little bit of money. So that's why we're asking for some investment in our product. Our first free tactic is going to the airport and handing out free samples of our prototype product to potential customers so that we can get their feedback and show it to them to see if this is something that they would imagine themselves using on their flight. Our second free tactic is LinkedIn. So we create a LinkedIn profile for Travel Space, and we want to connect with business people that fit our customer persona so that we can understand their point of view on our product and hopefully get good feedback on how to improve the design. So our paid tactics are going to the airport and setting up a booth where we would hand out our product and we would understand the value of the product that we're making. And again, just to get good feedback from people that we think would be interested in buying it for their plane. Our fourth tactic is to create an attractive pop-up ad on Facebook because we know that a lot of 30 to 50-year-old business people have Facebook accounts, and this would be a good way for them to see our product and understand it so that we could get good feedback from them and they would see how we advertise it.
So our cost of goods is $30, and this comes from buying $15 worth of PC ABS plastic material for the bulk of it, and then $5 for the grippy silicone surface. The actual construction will be $7 for the plastic molding and $3 for the assembly. Based on feedback, we think that the best price for our product right now is $70. So subtracting the cost of goods sold, we get a profit of $40 with a 58% profit margin.
One of our most important indirect channels is online retail. We've chosen this because it is a small, it's a small startup cost and will reach the most amount of people possible. After looking at all of our channels, the biggest problem we've faced is all of them are a one-time purchase, and we need a way for recurring revenue. This is where we came up with the in-flight rental, where we will sell our product to the airlines, and then they will rent out our product for about $10 to their flyers, and we'll get a royalty for about 90 cents. Our direct channel is our website, where people can buy directly from the source.
Like Parker mentioned, our main direct channel is our landing page. So you guys can scan the QR code if you want just to see a little closer of what our landing page would look like. Okay, so this is what it looks like. And using our landing page MVP, we can measure our revenue in the form of pre-orders. So the button that says Stop the Stress here will bring you to our still in development, and you can just sign up with your email address to pre-order.
Using this landing page, we can find out the amount of people who visit our website, how many people click on the button, and how many people enter their email and subscribe. So we can get a clear number as our key metric in our conversion rates, so we know how successful our landing page is using the website number. So the other aspect of our MVP is the creation of our prototype. We'll be using $30 to get a freelance 3D modeler on Fiverr to do up to 4 revisions on our 3D model so we can send it to a 3D printer. Going to a 3D printer, we will need up to $800 depending on where we go. $800 could get one iteration or multiple depending on the location. And based on feedback, we can improve on our first iteration and get a better product the more we do it. And lastly, we'll be asking for $170 so we can get traffic on our landing page and determine how many people are interested in our product. So in total, we're asking for $1,000.
By February 15th, we plan to acquire a 3D file from our Fiverr seller. By February 17th, we want our website completed and posted. By February 20th, we want our working prototype acquired from our 3D printer. And finally, by February 24th, we want to share our prototype with all our potential customers for feedback.
Thank you guys so much for listening, and I hope you all are ready to invest in our products so you can stop stressing and start relaxing with Travel Space.
How does the price of this compare to your competitors? And the competitors seem like they have a lot of foam or something on the bottom. Yours seems like it's very flat.
Yeah, so on the bottom, we have this trippy silicone surface, and based on our value propositions, we think worth a little bit more than what they have, so, compared to our main competitor.
What's the price of theirs?
They range from 30 to 50, but they have some nicer models up to 200.
Is this in lieu of the fold-down tray so that people can use it on their lap? Or is this to be used in conjunction with the fold-down tray?
You can put it on your lap or you can put it on the tray. You can do both.
Gotcha. The competitors is primarily on the lap, not on the tray?
On the level.
Okay.
Yeah, and theirs is a lot heavier, so it's a little bit harder to like take it around with you. Most
It looks
people can't
bulky,
have that, yeah.
Not
It is
backpack
bulky,
fitting,
yeah.
right?
I'd like to ask a little bit more about the construction methods. So you're going straight to a 3D printer. If you want to rapidly iterate on that, what's going to be the kind of lag time between we have an idea and actually getting manufactured and getting it back?
So, based on interactions that we've already had, they can get it back to us in about 2 hours at the fastest, and like 6 hours at the longest. And the price, the price does vary because we didn't have the 3D model yet, which is what we need the money for, so we could get the 3D model and then send it over. So that was a very rough estimate. With a more precise 3D model, they could probably give us a better estimate. So.
Would it be possible before you get to that point to just like saw and hammer and put things together to kind of test the form factor and things like that? Or is it, you think 3D printing is the way to go right from the start?
Based on the materials and our experience as a group, I don't think going at it on ourselves is the best idea. I think that, we think that the best method right now would be to 3D print it and to get a proof of concept. So,
The $800 was for one tray, or do we have multiple trays of
we got multiple quotes. One of them was $800. Another one said it could be $300 to $400, but they don't know exactly based on the fact that we don't have our 3D model yet. So they were going based off of previous orders, which were around $300 to $400. So if we went to different places, we could get multiple revisions.
I think design is key in this product. I think it's a good idea. The amount of interviews and feedback that you've gotten is a great start. I would get more of that and try to get as much as you can about the functionality of the physical product. This is a injection mold eventually. You can't 3D print, right? And that's extremely expensive. So you want to make sure you have version 1 right. If you don't, it is extremely expensive to change that later on. And also I would say, I'd ask, well, why do you omit business class from your target market?
Just because like they have more room
Yeah.
than the
They still have the tray, it's the same. It maybe comes out from the sidearm, but they still are kind of limited in the same way. And there's not a lot of domestic, business flights that are, full laydown. It's like kind of just like a little bit wider seat. And business class is going to be traveling probably more frequently for business. 6 times a year, I would, if I was traveling that much, working that much on the plane, like more than say once a month, twice a month, this is probably something I want in my bag all the time. That really lock in, that I'm spending a lot of my time in here. To make sure, I'd say in the review process that you're looking at the different types of trays, the different types of airlines. You want to make sure later on you don't have hurdles that, our product is perfect except for the Boeing, 747 MAX from Spirit. It doesn't, try to eliminate those exception cases with the design, make it as universal as possible. And I'd like to see the MVP money going towards really refining and fine-tuning the product. I think the market's there. I think it's a really good idea.
Does it make sense to make a couple of them sooner and get them into the hands of people that you all know personally that are flying, and having some sort of branding on it? You have like a audience of people that will see that you're using something unique on the versus trying to go, I mean, you couldn't go to the airport and try to set up a booth or do
Right,
something. You gotta
that's-
have a ticket to get past the gates where people are, would be interested, or get past the line where people are interested in something like this. So maybe it makes sense to, get these out there to a couple of people sooner. I mean, everybody knows someone that's flying somewhere over the next couple of weeks, so it's, that may be a better strategy to get real-time testing.
I totally agree, because I don't know if you guys have actually gone to O'Hare and asked someone in security, do we have a pop-up booth? Have you done
Yeah.
that? And they said yes.
No, we haven't done that.
Yeah, I think you'll find.
There's a caste system in the Department of Aviation.
Yeah.
Work through the-
If you're not hawking mileage plus Visa cards, you're not getting in
You're not getting
probably.
in there, yeah. And you know what, one thing I've got in my brain is you have 2 months. We'll be back here in roughly 2.5 months to ask, what did you learn? To determine who advances to the next stage. And I mean, I've got concerns that you've got so many steps to get to some prototype level. I'm not sure if you're gonna really have the time to learn anything unless you can figure out substitutes or surrogates for that design. Can you use balsa wood covered in silicone bake mats that you can get at Crate and Barrel, what have you, to simulate what you got and get
Those old school lunch trays.
old school lunch trays. I mean, this
Fork
is.
thing.
Right. It's really all about getting it into the hands of, if you've got family members that travel, get them to agree to put it in a briefcase and use it and try it. Because I gotta tell you, everyone on the plane who's within sight lines will ask, what is that? Did it work? How's it going? I mean, you really need to get data points in only about a couple months' time. We had an interesting visitor to one of our incubator classes down in Texas. Mark Cuban actually came in and shared his experiences, and his push to the kids was, find something that you yourself can do and learn about that process quickly. Don't do this as an academic exercise. That's not this class. The whole point is find something that you can potentially design, sell, what have you. His first business was reselling garbage bags that he delivered to the homeowner's address. So if you love this idea and this problem that you want to solve, fantastic, we'll cheer you on. But if this is more of an academic exercise, maybe go back to your bug me list and see what you can tackle.
I think, I'm all for the 3D printing, it surprises me that it costs that much. Maybe you get to like a 90% working model and you can print it out for, just in the scope, we have the Project Lead the Way, we have people that have CAD experience in this building.
We have
The
3D
library,
printers in this building.
There may be a way where you can design something that looks like it's a finished, polished product at a much lower fraction of the cost. And maybe it may not have all of the features and engineering that's in your finished product, but the people using it are also friendly people that aren't gonna complain about the bugs.
Right.
But it gets it out there and give you a quicker avenue to gauge interest and utility in it.
I go even further than that and say, don't worry about it being polished. The first couple iterations, you should almost be embarrassed by how shabby and looks, but what you're doing is you're finding out the form factor, the weight, the features, all that kind of stuff. And don't worry about polish for the first couple of iterations. Make sure you're meeting the need with the actual product, and then think about the polish and how you're gonna finish it. So I totally agree, Mr. Howard.
Was the CAD file part of the MVP process? You have to generate the 3D CAD file,
That was
right?
part of the $30 in the funding agreements.
Right. Okay, do you guys plan to 3D animate that? I think one of the things that's lacking a little bit is the visualization of how it works. Are there hinges? Does it just lay on top? You're already getting a 3D CAD file generated, right? This is something that you should be able to cheaply turn into an actual animated video. Just, 10 seconds on a loop, just kind of showing it how it sits.
Yeah, we have a
recommendation here?
Well, I think what I'm hearing is we probably don't need to spend any money on marketing the product. Kind of want to focus on creating a prototype of some sort. So, do we just say okay on 3D printing?
Yeah, and represent to Hans, your next steps on the 3D printing and costs. And I would say, what, should we do a cap of 5?
Yeah, I mean, if we could do it for 500, I think that would be,
That was within the range, one of the ranges that you talked about, 800. The other guys, they kind of came in at 200 or 300.
Yeah, it was like 300-400, but that was an estimate, we don't know if that's correct or not, but yeah, it could be lower than it might be.
I just do some due diligence on the cost of 3D printing. I think that in and of itself is a lot cheaper if you already have a CAD file and it's not something that's super complex with different materials. This may be something that you can get in.
Well, like Mr. Howard said, check out the Barrington Library. They are super helpful with their printers, and maybe they can be a nice resource.
We've looked at the school and the library, both of them are too small for our,
Okay.
school.
Okay.
All right, do you have a summary for me?
Just get a cutting board. You can use it
And you print interlock.
around it.
30 seconds.
So we're capping at 500
Yeah,
and just focus on the product. Getting that feedback.
So 500 and what was it? Focus.
Just focus on getting a viable product.
Getting a prototype.
Prototypes, okay. Got it.
prototype animation, so you can get feedback on that.
Perfect. Thank you, guys.
Thank you.